Thursday, the 10th of November, and you're listening to the GameGrin or watching us live on Twitch. I'm your host, Hamiltonius, and joining me tonight are Ace.
Hello.
Cal.
Hey, hello.
And Ubidom.
Hello.
Today's main topic will be games that are universally panned or hated by critics or the audience, but which you have a guilty pleasure for. That's not really the right phrase. But anyway, we've got quite a lot of news to plough through first. The first of which was that earlier this week, yes, it was Monday in fact, it was N7 Day, which is the day of Mass Effect, essentially, because of the number on Commander Shepard's armour, which meant that BioWare revealed some more information about Andromeda and released a trailer.
Because we haven't got enough national holidays already.
If only I could have got my day off work then. But yeah, so new trailer, the game looks pretty damn good. In case you don't know what it's about, essentially the races from the Mass Effect universe have all travelled to a different galaxy because BioWare needed to refresh the entire franchise. And they've all woken up from cryo sleep, but something's amiss, and essentially it's reversing the plot line from the original Mass Effect, where now you're the aliens in the galaxy as opposed to the Reapers being the bad guys, or maybe you're the bad guys.
So is this set after the events of the original trilogy then? There's no prequel, it's essentially continuing the story but in a new vein.
People have been trying to work it out. It's, as far as they can tell, it's either set just after the events of Mass Effect 1, or just after the beginning of Mass Effect 1, or before Mass Effect 1, so essentially just so that people, they can sort of give it a clean slate. So I think people might be aware of Commander Shepard, but I don't think they would know of the Reapers.
Yeah, I was under the impression it's set like 1,000 years in the future or something.
Well, yeah, it is kind of, because they're on basically cryo ships that have sent them off to Andromeda because you can't fly there in normal time, I guess. So they all wake up, I think it's something like some arbitrary figure, 200, 300 years later on the edges of the Andromeda galaxy, and your task...
Can't they use a mass relay to get there, though?
No, there's no mass relays in there.
Oh, yeah, you need
or
one
maybe there are.
there.
Maybe there are, but we don't know. But that's something to find out, whether the Reapers go to other galaxies. They're supposed to be from outside of the Milky Way, so who knows? But yeah, and I think your main character, called Ryder, with a female or male, because you can play as either of a set of twins, gets to be chosen to be, I can't remember what the name is, something like Pathfinder, who gets to be the person who selects from a batch of worlds that are good enough to be the new Earth.
The Inquisitor.
Yeah, they've come up with a new title for you. So instead of having, I don't know whether they're going to have the name recorded, or they've just gone with Pathfinder so that you can name your character whatever you want, and they'll be like, "Hello, Pathfinder," instead of your actual name. But yeah, so...
But you just said they're both called Ryder.
Yeah, they are both called Ryder, but I don't know whether they're going to go with Ryder or go with Pathfinder. Who knows? Probably Ryder.
Probably both. It's like with the previous Mass Effects, they either called you Commander or they called you Shepard. So I'd imagine it would be like that.
For what it's worth, the new protagonist looks a bit younger than Commander Shepard, who I believe was in his 30s.
The preset looks quite young.
Ah, there you go. Before you
default.
take over to try and edit the face, it turns into a waxwork model.
Yeah. Just looks awful every time.
They didn't do too great with that on... They did, to be fair, if it's anything like in Dragon Age Inquisition, which had a lot better character creation, but they didn't have but then in Inquisition they didn't have a default Inquisitor, so...
So I assume also that we have to play as a human. There's still not going to be any options to play as
still got to be human.
alien races. So we can confirm EA are racist towards aliens.
Well, people are still grasping to try and find out what alien races have accompanied humans to the galaxy, because it's said that other alien races get involved. Asaria confirmed by one of your companions being an Asari. There's a Solarian in the trailer. BioWare themselves...
So the ship's in Noah's Ark of space.
Yeah. The Solarian's confirmed in the trailer, and BioWare themselves have said that there'll be Turians. So, only thing that's missing is Krogan, essentially, or the little minor races that are dotted around.
Yeah, what about the jellyfish balloon
The Hanar.
type
Elcors.
things?
And
And the
Elcors.
Elcor. Yeah, I hope we get to see a little bit of them, but it's there's a new big bad as well that has been introduced. Some sort of I don't know. They look like rock people to me, but
Yeah, I was getting sort of. Are they called the Hive? I was getting very Hive vibes from them. In Mass Effect 2. They seemed to. I didn't get a good look at them, but they did look very similar.
I mean, they look like the Collectors.
That's it. What's the Hive? Is that something else?
I think you've made that up.
The Hive. The Hive.
Although
Hive
keep that
mind.
for your upcoming sci-fi novel.
Yeah, I'm gonna do some digging because I'm sure that's
Copyright.
something from.
Yeah, copyright it now, so no one can steal your intellectual property.
BRB. I'm researching.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it
we'll
looks
just
good.
pause the podcast there.
Yeah, it looks really good from what I've seen. But then Mass Effect has always looked pretty good as a franchise. Really, it's always been quite a good looking game. Considering that a good portion of it is a conversation simulator, you've got to have some nice looking character models.
So you think it's going to be as conversation heavy as the others?
I would think so. It's something that BioWare, prides themselves on, is having in-depth background and in-depth characters.
Can confirm the Hive are from Destiny.
There you go.
They do look like the Collectors there.
But yeah, so I think, it would be strange for them to go against type and have no in-depth character stories and backgrounds and things like that. So yeah, although we'll find out more as it. It's supposedly a March release date, so we're not that far away, to be honest.
Dun, dun, dun.
So
Are we all
hopefully more will be
confident that it
released.
will hit the release date? Yeah, because
I don't think it will.
No, I raised question marks that we're only starting to see actual gameplay now. I think the first gameplay we saw was at the PS4 Pro reveal. Everything else before that was sort of behind the scenes look. So I'm still a bit dubious.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. Although I think, knowing with EA, they probably have set the release date as being March. Look at Titanfall. They planned the October release for months.
That's true. How often have bumped the release of a game? As far as studios go, I don't recall them doing much funny business with game release dates.
The only game I can think of that they have actually done it with is Battlefield Hardline. That was supposed to come out in October of 2014, I think. And
you're right.
And then when the beta came out, it got loads of backlash because it was really buggy and a bit shitty. And they came on stage saying, the beta is now available. And everyone was like, oh, fuck. And everyone was like, hang on a minute, this is really unbalanced and broken. And they pushed the release date back to March 2015.
So perhaps there's going to be a beta for Andromeda.
I doubt it, to be fair, unless there's multiplayer in it.
Because it's an MMO and no one realises yet.
They're doing a Destiny on it.
Oh god, I don't think I would enjoy a Mass Effect MMO.
Sure you would.
I
it
would
worked
not.
for Star Wars.
Copyright that shit.
It barely worked. It barely worked for Star Wars. But I think it's because BioWare and their stories are all based upon the trope of the hero's journey, where you are basically like a lot of video games, you are the sole chosen one, savior of the world, galaxy, universe, mythical land, and I don't think that really works in an MMO setting, to be honest.
Yeah, of course it does, because every player playing it is the hero. They're the sole savior. It's like, there's certain MMOs, you get the introductory character, the first NPC you talk to, and it'd be just him stood there, and he goes, you're the savior of the galaxy, go on an adventure. New character, you're the savior of the galaxy, go on an adventure. With thousands of playable characters about.
They don't do that in Star Trek Online.
No?
It's you're the lieutenant now. You have to take charge of the ship and now do all the same missions that everyone else is doing.
See,
but you're not the savior of the universe.
I with Old Republic, they did quite well in trying to. It came close to me actually buying a subscription to it, because I remember they implemented something where you could have 2 players. I don't know if this actually came into the final game because I didn't bloody buy it, but where 2 players can be having a conversation in the storyline at the same time. They can both select options from a dialogue wheel, and it plays off like that.
Kinda. If you're playing in a raid where you're partnered with a group of people, the story options is done to a vote, and it's kind of like a roll of the dice. You know, when you like in terms of you grab a loot and you try and do the crappy need, greed, or whatever, it goes by the majority. So if the majority chooses the bad option, then yeah.
Oh, I see.
But if you choose, say for example, there's the conversation was a bad option and a good option. If you choose the good option, you still get the reward of the good points. But if the vast majority chooses the bad option, then the cutscene plays out, or the conversation plays out. Whoops. Conversation plays out as though it's the bad option.
Ah, right.
At least that's how I remember it. It's been ages since I played it, to be fair.
Well, we're off track a little bit here, surprisingly. Yeah, so Mass Effect Andromeda, we'll find out more about it. Looks good. Hopefully won't be crap. Hopefully won't have an ending where you choose 3 different colours.
Buy the special edition.
Spoilers.
That's £280.
Sorry to interrupt, guys. It's I've just been trying to listen to the streamer. I don't think Cal is coming through at all.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
Yeah, I've heard me
ghost.
and you, but not Cal.
One.
Hello. Testing. Testicles.
This guy. We jinxed it. We thought we were getting away scot-free.
It's...
Okay, I just heard Dom say 1111.
Okay, so it seems that people can only hear myself and Ace and Dom, I guess. So the ghost of Cal.
Yeah, you can't. Oh dear. Oh,
the ghost of Christmas Cal.
Oh no.
All those great points you've been making.
Yeah.
I know.
I asked a question about the Old Republic, and then there was 2 minutes of silence.
I know, and I told that amazing recipe, and just no one heard it.
Oh,
you revealed your passwords and bank numbers.
I'm trying to look in the settings and fix it.
Well, while Cal's doing that, we'll move on to the next newsy piece.
Dominoid has suggested something in chat.
Yeah. Next newsy piece. This was brought to my attention by Ace in our little Discord thing that Dishonored 2 has been getting some rather average reviews from PC users who've unlocked the game early, I believe.
Yes.
What complaints have they been putting on the Steam page, Ace?
They didn't get the review copy early enough. Sorry.
Well, funnily enough, because it lets you sort the reviews for Steam purchases and key activations, most of the reviews have been Steam purchases. So if we filter by negative Steam purchases, we get a load saying that it's 30 to 40 frames per second. It's a terrible port. It's badly optimized. This port is a train wreck. It's not that performance is bad. It seems to be rendering at a lower resolution, even when dynamic resolution is set to 100%. So everything looks blurry.
Just want to apologise to the listeners if you are watching on Twitch. I've just had to very briefly stop the stream. Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah. But my mic is only consolation. My mic's working now.
Oh dear. Well, we can't have a streamcast that works. That's just the rules.
Can't have a streamcast without a fuck up.
No.
No, we don't. No.
So, why is another case of developers not? Why port it at all? Why port a game? Why not just make it from the ground up for the PC? That's my question.
Well, normally they are. I think the issue here is it's built on the IdTech 5 engine.
Well, funnily enough, Bethesda have actually updated their FAQ today. We are aware that some of you are encountering issues with Dishonored 2 on PC. Please take a moment to review our recommendations to help better your experience. Things such as avoid using Alt-Tab, don't have anything running in the background. That's worrying for a modern PC game.
Shut up!
Jesus
Don't even have Steam running in the background.
Try lowering the resolution. Keep VSync activated. Use auto presets. Yeah.
It sounds like something Activision would say about their PC ports. Yeah, it doesn't. I still think it's because of the switching engine. I mean, Dishonored 1 was built on the Unreal Engine, and the Unreal Engine is so well optimized on the PC, and Bethesda making them use the IdTech engine. But the thing, Doom works perfectly fine. Dishonored 2 though, so it could just be the problem of the developers not knowing the engine well enough.
Well, it's not by the same developer as Doom, so.
Well, Doom is from id themselves.
Yeah, and the developer of Dishonored is Arcane Studios.
Yeah, and they would have been shoehorned to create it on that engine. And I think it's their own customized version. Like what they did with The Evil Within. The Evil Within had loads of complaints on the PC because even though the game engine they built it on is designed for 60 FPS because it was used for Rage and Wolfenstein, they forced it in the engine to run at 30. So it was locked on PC at 30, which was just stupid.
It's strange when games get locked to 30 on PC.
30's horrible on PC.
I said it's strange, I didn't say it was horrible.
Did the original Dishonored have these sorts of problems on PC when it came out? Because obviously Ubidom here representing consoles. I mean, I don't seem to remember many issues coming on the original on consoles, except for the classic Bethesda sort of glitchy-ish problems.
I don't remember it being much glitchy. It's because it was on the Unreal Engine and it just sort of works on PC, to be fair.
Well,
I mean, there's the occasional crashing that you get. That's about it, really.
On Steam currently, the original Dishonored, not the definitive or Game of the Year or whatever edition, has 762 negative reviews and 25,000 positive.
But most of them negative would probably be bitching about the game itself.
Too easy.
Yeah.
I found the waifus underwhelming. I swear to God. One just says garbage. Doesn't work with Windows 8.1. This game's a bit odd.
This game's a bit odd.
A bit odd.
Negative
Well,
review.
why not?
This game is a bit odd. I can understand with the Windows 8 issues, to be fair.
That's not the game's fault, that's Windows 8.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. That's also a worrying thing when you think that this is the first game that's come out after Bethesda's new policy. Well, apart from
Skyrim was the first,
apart from
wasn't it?
Skyrim, but that was expected to be buggy anyway. It's the same engine as Fallout 4. So that's what was expected. But this is technically the first full game after their new review policy, and you're thinking, bode well, performance-wise. I'm sure the console version's been quite praised.
Yeah, I've had a quick glance. Obviously, there's not many review scores out there due to the nature of Bethesda's review policy, but it seems like, standard, very bog standard game. Looks like they've tweaked a few things, but I didn't play the original, so I can't really comment on what they needed to change. But I mean, it seems.
I loved the original.
See, for me, I'm really not into first-person stealth, and I know you don't have to play it stealth, but there's something about not being able to see the body that is supposedly hidden that it's something that I could never get with.
What do you mean? The body that's supposedly to be hidden?
Like in a third-person stealth game, you can see that you're behind the box and you're sort of locked on. Whereas in first person, you don't know if you just got a good camera angle that looks like it's in your favour.
Oh, I know what you mean. Yeah, because there's a leaning mechanic in it, and you can sort of lean quite far out, but it's also to the point where you're actually quite out in the open. But because you're leaning, the enemy can't see you. I see your point, but it's still a cracking stealth game.
Dishonored 2 has 2 playable characters, so multiple ways to play it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I liked what I saw when I was at the Gamescom conference. It looked good. And it looked like it was running quite well. Whatever system they were showing it on.
PlayStation 4.
Probably. Or it could have been secretly the PlayStation Pro.
Ooh.
Speaking of PlayStation.
PlayStation.
Their UK help Twitter, something I noticed earlier today, has been bombarded with a larger than usual amount of complaints about people being unable to access their account, leading to rumours that a large-scale hack has occurred in the UK.
It's the backlash because of President Trump.
President-elect Trump.
Yes, President-elect Trump. All hail.
Someone's still got 3 months to get rid of him.
Yes, it's very true.
3?
Yeah, he could be shot in midterm that time.
Well, we're now on a list. Yeah, so
I didn't
PS4
say nothing.
I said a number in a questioning tone. I didn't.
Oh, my mic's not working again. Oh, shit. Oh, no.
So Alex is on that list.
Yeah, okay. While I fend off the CIA, you're the PS4 guy here. What do you think?
Yes, and I did not see this happen today. But what would you like to know, Alex?
Is there a precedent?
Should we panic?
Yes, his name is Obama.
You can't get out of it by making a
See,
vaguely
we did
rubbish presidential joke.
Is there a precedent? I don't think so. PlayStation are always being hacked left, right, and centre. This is the PSN. This was their Twitter account. You said they got hacked.
Yeah. No, not their Twitter account. It's people tweeting them saying that their accounts are being hacked.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I've got you. Well, I haven't been hacked. Don't know that.
I love the fact that you've got Alex asking Dom to tell the story, and Dom's that he doesn't know. So Alex is telling the story, and then Dom's just reiterating the story.
So as you all know, people were writing to PlayStation on Twitter today saying that their accounts were being hacked. This may be due to Trump. I don't really know what to add. The PlayStation Network is notoriously shit. There was famously, it went out over Christmas a couple of years ago and got hacked.
Shall I give you a hand here, Dom?
Go on. I'm just absolutely filling here.
Yeah, right, fine. Basically, about 6 hours ago, people started tweeting askps_UK, which is the UK support thing, saying that they've been hacked. Just apparently, people trying to sign in with their PlayStation email, or rather their ID, were given error reports saying that their ID didn't match, and they've got a lot of these. I think I'm just scrolling down. There's like 20 to 30.
Probably quite interesting about people today is that today, I believe, is the launch of the PS4 Pro. So whether or not people have been buying PS4 Pro and moving their account from one PlayStation to the other and setting theirs as primary and leaving the other and changing that over, that sometimes has an effect saying that you've been hacked. So that might be the cause.
That's a good point, actually. That's happened before.
When you get a new PlayStation, you have to set it as primary, which means you can do certain things with it. You can download apps from it, etc. So changing that over, it can sometimes, cause PSN is famously a train wreck. So it really wouldn't surprise me if there was something like that going on.
The problem is that the Ask PlayStation UK account is sending people through to a support page, which then asks for their PSN ID, which then comes back saying your PSN ID is incorrect.
Irony.
So these poor people are being locked out of their PlayStations. It doesn't seem like they're Pro owners either. There aren't any mentions of it.
Well,
Okay.
if there was ever a good time for a list of username and passwords to make the rounds, it'd be when more people are going to be buying the brand new PlayStation Pro.
Yeah.
I wonder if Microsoft sort of steps in and just gives this big advertisement about, how when I can't remember how they did it when PlayStation cocked up. I can't remember now, but they did this big ad. Oh, that was it. They did about 4K when the Pro was announced without a 4K Blu-ray player in it. Microsoft just knocked out this ad, basically saying about 4K gaming, 4K movies, and all that. So maybe they do something similar with a hack and sort of say, you won't get your account hacked on Xbox One. 4K gaming.
That would be stupid, because that's just daring the internet to hack them.
That's very true.
Last thing you want to do is challenge the internet to anything, really.
DDS.
I bet you won't vote for Trump.
Look, we can't. No. We're not straying onto that subject. We're about video games and video games only.
Thanks.
So let's talk about post-apocalyptic.
Hope everyone's prepared for the Fallout future we're going to be facing.
In celebration of Trump going to White House, let's play Fallout 3, which is happy to be in Washington, D.C.
I'll tell you what else is falling out in one of my most tenuous segues, and that is production orders for the Wii U. Nintendo has announced that it will no longer be producing the Wii U. I almost said EU then. So obviously, big middle finger up to the Wii U. Let's move on straight on to the Switch. No more Wii U's for people. I don't think anyone really cares anyway. No one really loved the Wii U, did they? Let's be honest.
It's surprising they actually made news of it. It's surprising they made news about it, to be fair. I mean, you think with the PlayStation 3 and the PS4, there would have been a point where Sony would have said, we're not doing any more PS3s. Unless they are. They probably are. Yeah, they probably are. Alright, no way. I mean, the PS2 only just freaking recently stopped being made.
Yeah, but I mean, it is quite early on to just be like, nah, shelve it. But I suppose Nintendo are pretty ruthless when it comes to things like that.
Get them while they're hot. They're going to be well rare, just like all Nintendo consoles, yo.
What was that? Was that you being a...
I don't know. It's been a long day. Keep up with Nintendo, though. Have you seen the little mini console? The little NES?
No.
You've not seen the NES? The little... We spoke about it.
I haven't
NES
seen
Mini.
Yeah, the mini NES. It's coming out. It's got 30 built-in games and it's got HDMI and all that magic. Well,
we had a podcast about it.
We did, yeah.
In July.
And I made a little picture of it on the YouTube. Anyway, Now, Nintendo have pretty much been telling retailers that they're in short supply. What a surprise.
I don't understand why people are getting so excited about it, I'll be quite honest.
Love the idea of it, but reading reviews, it comes with, okay, obviously comes with a controller, but the controller only has a 2.5 foot cable that you have to plug in, which means you literally have to sit cross-legged on the floor 2.5 foot away from your TV. There's no extendable lead on the controller. It's madness.
That seems really stupid.
It's at 2 feet away from your TV. That's pretty much like your childhood again, isn't it?
Yeah, except
That's it.
back then it was warranted because you couldn't see anything if you're 4 foot away. Now we've got 30, 40-inch TVs.
To be fair, there's going to be loads of third parties, I bet, are just going to knock out their wireless controllers. I'm pretty sure you can already buy wireless NES ones for the PC.
Rip the Wii U. Really?
Yeah, pretty much.
Press F to pay respects.
Press X to Jason.
Let's not get memey. Well, that's all the news, isn't it? Oh, we flew through that. Then we'll move on to today's big old topic suggested by the one, the only A-lister, games that have been universally panned, but you have a soft spot for. Has anyone got a game they want to throw up straight away? Not physically, of course. What game was
Well,
that?
it's Ace's topic. Let's give it to Ace first.
No, I want to save mine for last when I think of one.
Oh, good.
No, well, the thing that that brought the topic up, that made me think of the topic originally, last week when we were supposed to, do the topic, was Mafia 3, because it's not very well received, but I quite like it. I'll be quite honest. The soundtrack, the driving's pretty spot on, and well, you really can't find anyone who doesn't like the storyline. So, but yeah, I will admit to having a soft spot for Mafia 3.
Yeah, that's quite a recent game. Is there any old games that you...
Well, like I said,
people hate?
that's the one that's made me think of the topic, and I've been trying to think of an older one since, unsuccessfully.
I liked Brink.
Yeah, I did as well. It was alright. Very short-lived, though. And if there wasn't any Brink, there wouldn't be a dirty bomb.
I couldn't play it anymore because it just ran out of players. I really enjoyed it. But, I thought that the way they tried to blend story modes and multiplayer was really quite good. And how they used to have little introductions before every team fight. That was pretty cool. And the guns were really cool. The customization was good. I like the style of it. I don't think the world was ready for a parkour-based FPS, really. Or it was just, and plus the fact it was just a little bit thin on content, I guess. And I just remember really enjoying it. And then, like my friend James, who bought it with me as well, we both pre-ordered it because we were like, it's gonna change gaming. Like about 2 weeks after getting it, he was like, "Nah, I don't want to play anymore." I was like, "Oh, okay." Got no one to play it with anymore, so I'll just slowly phase it out.
Yeah, it did die really quickly, to be honest with you. I mean, it was alright, actually. But it's made by, what are they called? I can't remember. But anyway, the guys who made that... That's it. They went on to make Dirty Bomb, which is kind of like the spiritual successor. And that's really good.
I've heard it's good.
But it's free to play.
Oh, too busy playing Overwatch to give that a look there.
Overwatch.
Who hasn't spoken?
Okay, so what do we think mine's going to be?
Assassin's Creed 3.
Well, are we talking games or are we talking series? Because series is obviously Assassin's Creed, where people love
really like it.
a handful of them. Yeah, it's like when you say universal, I'm sort of talking about the GameGrin universe more than anything.
There's only one I like, and that's the pirate one.
It's a great pirate game. It's just not a great Assassin's Creed game. You play Assassin's Creed game for scaling.
That's why
Renaissance
it's a great. That's why it's a great game.
Cal,
it's not. Yes.
I don't think you're being heard again. Crafty's posted in the chat.
Oh god.
Oh, you know why? Oh, mate. I have to have like OBS clicked onto in order to have my mic transmit. If I click anywhere else, it doesn't transmit my mic. God damn it! And it's on the video. And if I somehow in Windows, I've got the video transmitted on my second screen, and if some windows or things I open up are default into the second screen, so you might get things pop up. So I'm just I'm not touching anything on my keyboard, anything other than the push to talk. Yay! We need Domino back.
I'm also going to give a shout out to it's a PlayStation exclusive, The Order 1886.
Yeah,
Yeah, what do you reckon?
I enjoyed it, but it was also quite shit.
I remember being interested in it
5 out of 10.
up until the point in the trailer where
I
they all
gave it a
pulled guns
7.
out.
I gave it a 7, I think.
It's a very interesting take on steampunk and alternative dimension timelines, etc. That sort of stuff. It's a solid third-person shooter, I would say. Not that I play many third-person shooters. It feels, it looks good, feels good. The story's interesting.
Departing a little bit from the subject matter here? Because was 1886 universally panned? I think critics.
It's notoriously quite a bad game.
But I mean, didn't critics just sort of give it a sort of it's okay, it's essentially a tech demo?
Yeah, but that's being panned in my eyes.
Is it?
Yeah, it was. The visuals were all praised and loved, and then it was the gameplay was a bit meh. And
on the preview
story
cycle, they would, rather than seeing it 10 minutes in action and some shooting, what they used to do was they would go up to a brick wall and they'd zoom in on this brick wall and be like, "Look at these bricks, how they're so vibrant," and then they would shoot it, and then they would go up to the bullet hole and be like, "Look at this bullet hole, look how accurate it is," blah blah blah. So it was tech first, story later. And I think if they did a sequel, which I think is still up in the air, if they could just get a solid story and not focus on the tech as much, it could be something quite big.
Yeah, over my time with it, a lot of even the behind the scenes videos they showed off like cutscenes, and they were saying it's all real time. Look how great it looks, and then they had the character just sort of wander around and, like Dom said, sort of just zoom in to certain objects, and then you'll get a brief fight with one of the Lycans, a brief combat moment, and that'll be it, just to make it look like, oh yeah, there's a lot more to it than just that. The reality was that's exactly what you got. Damn good looking game though.
Yeah, there's even bits where the collectibles, every game has collectibles, but these you pick up and you have to use a stick to rotate it, and you look at it from all angles. It's very meta, as if it's like, look how good this picture looks, or look how good this cigarette box looks.
Yeah.
But I liked it. I thought it was good. Very Doctor Who.
Doctor Who?
Who?
Who? What?
No.
I never really saw a Doctor Who-ish.
He's a sort of, when he goes back in time and fucks stuff up, and then he has to go back further in time to sort shit out.
Okay, now you're
That sort
talking
of
about the CW's Flash.
Yeah. Which is amazing, by the way.
Right.
Fair enough.
I've had some time to think. I've had a long look at my Steam library, and I've come up with one. Carmageddon Reincarnation.
Yeah.
We gave it, I believe, a 5 out of 10. And it wasn't very good on release for the most part, because it was so poorly optimized. But I really do have a soft spot for being able to run over cows at high speed, huge vehicle.
Is that the one that was reviewed during early access, or is that the actual final product?
That was the final product that got a 5. They did not so much re-release it, but they've released a new version of it now. It was on console a few months ago. They've finally gotten around to releasing it on PC. They've called it Carmageddon Max Damage, and now you can no longer get Reincarnation on the Steam store.
That was it.
So if you owned Reincarnation, now you have Reincarnation and Max Damage, but really only Max Damage because they're not doing any work to Reincarnation anymore.
Nice.
Yeah, but yes, that is one of my guilty pleasures. Even though the load times were abominable and the frame rate was jumpy as all hell, I spent more time on that than I probably should have.
See, my guilty pleasure, like as a whole, is like a series that I've sort of grown up with. Is got to be the Dynasty Warriors games, and they're just
incredible.
They just are. That's the right word to say. The first one I played was the second one, because the first one was like a beat 'em up, but the second one where they went to the whole just go out there on a massive battlefield and just hack and slash your way through it is amazing. And then each game was kind of a bit like a FIFA game. It was just the same scenarios, a slightly different roster of characters, and then just a small change to the game. They added in like pick-up weapons or more powerful weapons, and then they've added a new one. I think there's up to like Dynasty Warriors 8 now, where you can have like you can you can combine multiple weapons, and it's mad. It's also brilliant. It's so much fun.
I rented Dynasty Warriors 3 back when you could rent games over a weekend, and I played it on the PS2, and I played it so much and so far into the early hours of the morning that for the entirety of that weekend and a few days afterwards, every time I blinked, I could see the game on the insides of my eyelids. And yeah, I don't think I then bought every single one up until about Dynasty Warriors 7, and then I as well as the add-ons they have, which is Extreme Legends and Empires. The Extreme Legends, which is like a more arcadey version, and Empires, which adds like a story mode for your own created character. But
it's had like a strategy mode to it.
Yeah, and then I stopped at 7, I think, and then I sort of went. Yeah, I think I've got as much out of this series as I possibly can at this point. I don't know how much more I can get out of a game where you just press square and triangle to kill things.
Yeah, I think I had it on Xbox 360. I think I stopped at 7 as well, because it did get to the point where it's like, this, I just can't be asked to do this anymore. But the one that was so good, the one I played the most, was Dynasty Warriors 4. And that was amazing.
4 was the best one.
4 was by far the best one. And it had a character called Zhao Tai in it, who's like I don't know, I think he's Japanese because he had a katana. But I think if you read the history behind them, I think he's still Chinese, but he lived in Japan and became a samurai or something crazy like that. But anyway, it's like the whole story is like his life gets saved by this other guy, and then he teams up with them and joins your empire. So then he fights on behalf of them. It's crazy.
I'll admit, the series never really appealed to me because it's just one man armying through fields of enemies and then doing it again, except there might be a river in it this time.
Yeah, that is pretty much it. I mean, in that and the game Kessen 2 basically ignited my interest in like the feudal period of China, and everything I know about that period has come from Dynasty Warriors, Kessen 2, and Romance of the Three Kingdoms.
Yeah, definitely. Sun Tzu, Art of War, all that. It's just like you sort of learn like the history behind it all. It's crazy. It's also like really nice to you. It's like really praising, because when you play it, and if you defeat an officer, your character shouts out like random stuff like, I have defeated another officer. And it's just like you kill another one, and the lines just constantly repeat themselves. And then you don't get kills in it, you get KOs. So when you get like every 50 KOs, even like 100 KOs or whatever, your comrades will give you a message. Like say, we should all match your example or something crazy. And it's just like, yay me, I'm so good at this game.
And if you kill 1,000, it says, if you kill 1,000, he says, I'm a true warrior of the Three Kingdoms.
That was it.
And
yeah.
But you really that was actually an achievement, because you usually had to camp outside a spawn point for the little grunts and just hack away at them over and over and over and over and over. But yeah, Dynasty Warriors is pretty good. I wouldn't say it was like I think basically critics got a bit bored of it the same like after 4 essentially, because it has been the same format continuously. Obviously, it must just do really really well in Japan because they keep chucking them out there. So
well, there's so many variations as well. There's like there's the Japanese one, which is like a Warriors, a Rockchai.
Yeah.
Then they did a cross version of that, which is Dynasty Warrior characters meet Warriors of Orochi characters, and then they had the Zelda one, which is made by them as well.
And of course, next year you can play For Honor, which is Ubisoft's Dynasty Warriors.
Yeah.
There was a Dynasty Warriors Gundam Mobile Suit Gundam,
there was
1 and 2.
Yeah.
And I'll admit I actually got the first one because I like Gundam.
Yeah.
And I didn't get very far because it was very hard.
But still, that's that appeal of like being, especially with the Gundam ones, it's like you're a big mech Gundam, you're just going into the battlefield taking everyone out. It's just mindless fun. I think the Zelda one's pretty good. I can't remember what it's called though.
Hyrule Warriors.
That was it. It's always something with warriors in it. There's a medieval one as well. I can't remember. I forget their names, but they did do a Western version where you basically are, a medieval warrior fighting in a massive battle as well.
Was it called Medieval Warriors?
No,
wasn't that one based on the 100 Years' War?
That was it. Yeah, that's the one.
I can't remember what it was called either.
And then they made an RPG one, which is the Dynasty Warriors Strike Force, I think it's called, and that's like where they tried to make it all a bit like Dragon Ball Z, where characters go like super strong, and you get all these abilities and powers, and you sort of had a bit of an RPG to it. And then they made a Monster Hunter knockoff version as well, which was on PS4, which I heard is pretty good.
It's amazing how far they can stretch one concept.
I know, right? But it's just
FIFA.
Yeah, they do a football one.
But then there's not like oh wait, no, hold on. I was gonna say there's not like FIFA in different like IPs, but I thought there's Mario Soccer, but that's not FIFA. That'd be like Mario FIFA, and then like Metal Gear FIFA, and Gundam FIFA.
You wouldn't have Metal Gear FIFA, you'd have Metal Gear Pro Evolution Soccer.
Yeah, that's true.
You would. I'm surprised they haven't crossed those characters over yet.
Oh, they will.
There's still time, yeah.
After Metal Gear Survive.
When they make some more, gotta make some more Pez pachinko machines first.
You just have like Snake being like the guest goalie or the guest striker. It's like, and it'll be all in. It's like one of them big, massive, over-the-top Japanese ads. And he goes, "Sorry, the Snake," and just has him catching the ball, going, "Kept you waiting, huh?" Or something crazy like that.
Okay, here we go.
Like, fuck's sake, Snake handball.
I've gone on Wikipedia, which has a helpful list, as it does, of video games notable for their negative reception. So we'll might as well, because we seem to be running a little thin on things ourselves. So I'll go through some of these and see if people think they're as bad as the reception got. But we've got Duke Nukem Forever. Did anyone play that?
Yes.
What did you think, Cal?
It was awful. It was the worst piece of shit I ever played.
Okay, so
Fortunately, I
agreement
rented
there.
it.
A nice recent one, No Man's Sky.
Yeah, well, mainly because of the backlash and the false advertising and the extortionate price.
I haven't jumped in since the launch weekend, really. I'm waiting for a big update, but whether or not
So you
that's ever
actually
going to
bought
happen. Yeah, I did buy it. I
Whoops.
pre-ordered it. I know that's a horrible word, but I pre-ordered it.
Why?
Hype train, bruh.
I pre-ordered it within an hour of
Like,
playing it.
when I say pre-ordered it, I didn't pre-order it like months and months in advance. Like about a week before, I just saw it on it. It popped up on Amazon. I thought, okay, I'll buy it and I'll get it on the day.
What a waste.
You can tell me.
What else?
Do you still have
here?
it?
Yeah, I've still got it. I think I
Cellophane
deleted it
wrapper.
off my PlayStation today, actually, though, because I bought Tomb Raider.
The Star Trek game. That was and Aliens Colonial Marines as well.
Oh,
Anyone play those?
We're talking about games that we actually enjoyed.
I know. I'm just trying to see because these are just ones that it says are like really have got really bad reviews. If anyone actually,
I don't think
like
anyone
them.
enjoyed that game. It's just Gearbox rolling in the money.
We're in the money.
Yeah, pretty much. Funded it into the Borderlands games.
Did anyone play Daikatana when it was out? Ages
No.
ago. Apparently, that's like regarded as one of the worst games of all time.
Yeah.
Oh, it is. There's. I've not played it, but I've read enough about it. There's one particular scene where the main antagonist, a woman, is enjoying a bath a bit too much.
See, I wasn't going to be John Romero's bitch.
No, so that's why he made the antagonist a woman.
That was an awful tagline for a game. It's like, John Romero's going to make you his bitch. And there's like so much hype behind it because he's like one of the second lead behind Doom, like the co-creator of Doom. And everyone's like, oh my god, it's going to be amazing. Piece of shit.
Has anyone got any more candidates?
I'd assume Sonic, the first Xbox Sonic game, the one where it's completely scrapped the original.
Sonic 06.
That's it, yeah. Sonic 06.
Yeah, I thought we were talking about games that someone somewhere ever had enjoyed.
I'm sure.
I enjoyed watching people play Sonic 06.
Yeah, it's funny watching
you
the
enjoyed
glitches.
them trying to kill themselves afterwards, you mean?
It's amazing how it's like whenever you watch one of them YouTube videos, it's like saying the top 10 glitches in games. Sonic 06 is always in there because of how completely buggy and glitched that game is. There must be other games.
I don't know. I think maybe we just play good games.
We have good taste. That's the better way of putting it.
No, I just go for the popular ones.
Yeah, what's popular on Steam? Alright, I'll buy that. That's what I'm like sometimes, though, to be fair. But then you do sort of, it's like No Man's Sky is a perfect example. Like a lot of people fell for the hype of that, and it is based around the hype in it. But there's always like, have you? This could be like from any website. Could be like from GOG, or it could be from Steam. Even if it was like a Steam sale game, a game that just sort of caught your attention. You think, oh, I'll get that. It's only what, £2? I'll get that. There's any games like that? That's to be a bad game.
Well, GOG currently has a sale, so if there is one, it'll be on sale now.
I once got Dishonored for free and didn't like it. That's sort of a reverse of what we're talking about.
There's a few games
I didn't review it, just to put that out there. I didn't get it free because I reviewed it. I actually used my Steam wallet credit to get Dishonored for free, and then I played half an hour and was like, nah, save for me.
And you're going to be reviewing Dishonored 2. Congratulations.
Nah.
See, I found loads of games that I bought on Steam just out of pure stupidity. And also, actually, thinking about it, just completely slipped my mind when we were talking about it. The poop games. And I don't mean that in the sense of, some poop games. But the...
What was that called again?
Super Duper Party Pooper.
That was it. For some reason I thought it was called Don't Shit Where You Eat, but I don't know why.
Well, I suppose that's always good advice.
Yeah. That's a good point. Now, there's Super Duper Party Pooper, and Waiter, There's Poop in My Soup. I think the first one was called. And they're weirdly, like, quite fun for maybe 20 minutes, half an hour. Because the music is actually pretty good. When you start getting a combo going of dropping poop on people, the music starts getting more like techno and disco, and you're just like, tss, 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 and it's pretty good. That's why I've given every single, the two I've reviewed, a 6.
And what are their? Have they got a worse score on Metacritic?
It's got like a 2 and a 3. Actually, no, I think I need to double check at some point, but if you actually go on Metacritic, I think we're the only games site that actually has those games on Metacritic. Because I think no other fucker wanted to review it. I hope they make a third one, then I'll just give it a 6 out of 10 as well. So then if you look at all three, it'd be like 666. The number of the beast.
There's Poop in My Soup. There are 2 sites that have reviewed it. Both have given it a 60.
60?
So that's not enough for a meta score, unfortunately.
Oh, that's a shame. It needs at least 4, doesn't it?
It does need 4.
Hmm.
And, however, Super Duper Party Pooper has a meta score of 40. It has been dragged up by GameGrin. 60, 50, 30, 20.
Yes!
Possibly the worst game I've ever played.
I'm glad we can be here to help.
And they say don't listen to critics. That's a good example.
So don't listen to you.
Yes.
So what's your favourite recent game? I will be avoiding it.
It's just the sheer stupidity of the games. I mean, you look at certain review scores, and if I set it any lower, like if I gave it a 1, 2, or 3, that would mean that going by our policy, that would mean the game would be broken, and the game wasn't. The game actually the game worked. It was It was cheap, so if it was extortionately expensive of a game, so even if it was like 4 or 5 quid, then I would have put a lowered score. But I sort of put it into the middle and then gave it a little bit of a boost because of the amusement factor of it. So I gave it a 6. Other places are just like, this is utter shit. Because literally, in a way, it is shit. But it's also fun. Ghostbusters, though, fucking free. That's awful.
But I don't think scores really matter to a company that have made 2 games about poo.
No, especially like I think in my second one, I tried to do a little tale behind the character that you play as, and it just seems like the developers just don't care. Honestly. I mean,
Well.
the game is a quid. Not even that.
I'll wait for the Steam sale.
Yeah, it'd probably be like,
On the new Steam store. It's not
Yeah,
too
it'd be
far
like-
away now.
What's that going to be?
Christmas
They're
sale.
going to be giving out money for you to have it. Have this
Yeah.
game, we'll give you £10.
I imagine Steam will have their full sale in 2 weeks, and then of course they'll have their winter sale starting probably the 23rd of December. It usually starts around then, and that's a Friday.
Winter sale. Although the Steam sales, like the last few, have been a bit like
Awful.
yeah. To be fair, but I really enjoyed the Steam sales when they did the deals. When the deals would rotate, or you'd have the flash sales. The flash sales were amazing.
Yeah, but they've stopped those.
I know, and that's why.
They were the best part.
Mm-hmm. Some of the Sony deals, though, are pretty good. Hey, Ubi? PlayStation sales?
Hello, yes, they are. I've
Yeah.
always.
Have you just returned from the bathroom or something?
No, I'm actually doing I'm in a class at the minute as well in another chat room.
Commitment.
No, they. I always keep meaning to do it, but I always miss them out. Is the Rockstar re-releases? So the Grand not Gran Turismo, Grand Theft Auto, San Andreas. I really want to get that with trophies and 1080p, and that's like £9 at the minute, and it's normally like 19 quid. So yeah, they're normally good. There's no Steam sales, the PSN sales, but they always do me proud.
Well, they're not too bad sometimes. They do weekly big discounts on weekly games.
This past weekend, I picked up Ape Escape 2 on PlayStation 4. It's as good as I remember.
Was that one of the Ape Escape was one of the first series to use both analog sticks, wasn't it?
It was. That's what made me pick up the first one originally. Unfortunately, the PSP version of it, because it didn't have 2 sticks, didn't use 2 sticks. So now you can play it on the Vita, the original one, and unfortunately, it still doesn't use both sticks because it's the PSP version.
But does not emulate, because some PSP games on the Vita would emulate the D-pad as a right analog stick, like Metal Gear.
I wasn't aware of that, but no, it doesn't appear to be the case.
I remember having a demo of that on an old PlayStation demo disc. It was well annoying, trying to capture those pesky monkeys. Oh, apes. Sorry.
No, they were monkeys.
Oh, okay. They had like I remember they because one of them, they had like alarm bells on their head, like a big flashing light. So when you were trying to chase them, and you're just like, oh, you bastard. Yeah. And they made a cameo.
They turn around and throw bombs at you.
Yeah, bastards. They made a cameo in Metal Gear Solid 3 as well. You'd get the there was a tranquilizer gun that would like instantly put enemies to sleep if you played on. I think you had to play on like a really very easy mode. You'd get a tranquilizer gun with unlimited ammo, and there'd be like an Easter egg for the monkeys. Because I think it's the same developer. I think it's from Konami.
I can't remember off the top of my head.
No, nor do I. Something to look up.
And with that, we shall let you go and look it up, listeners, if you can be bothered, which I'm sure you will be. That is the end of this week's Streamcast podcast, GrinCast, lots of casts.
Completely faultless.
Exactly.
Yes.
And if you're listening to this 5 years into the future, then hail Overlord Trump. I've been your host, Hamiltonius, and thanks to Ace, Cal, and Ubidom for today's pod. Now for all the bits at the end. If you want to follow the GrinCast on Twitter, you can find us at GrinCast, and you can also find GameGrin on Twitter at GameGrin. You can also find GameGrin on Facebook and YouTube. Just search GameGrin and look for the little smiley face. Remember to go to GameGrin.com for all your news, reviews, previews, and articles about the video game industry, and remember to check out Game On magazine, which does lots of lovely mags on all sorts of stuff, and a film and TV mag as well. We'll be back next week in purely audio form, but until then, game on.